So welcome to this live stream, which will last as long as the connection holds up. Let's see, and we'll make a plan if there is a breakdown. I'm standing here outside of Gethsemane, the Church of all Nations, which has this marvelous mosaic telling the story, also with an inscription. When we're away from traffic, I will explain a little bit more why we're doing this in a few minutes, okay? Here we are right across from the golden gates of the Temple Mount. And right in behind that is the Dome of the Rock, maybe just a tad south to the left of that. This is a very busy area. There's a very big population back here. So this is the beautiful entry into the Basilica of the Agony in the Garden in Gethsemane. Sorry. I will try to get a little closer for you. We can cross the road now. I think this will be good from this point here. The title over the doorway is "Wait here and watch with me." And then up higher up we have this inscription. Well, first of all, let's look at the art. We have the disciples asleep, weary. The word that's written there is ignoratio. They do not know what's going on. They have no idea of what an important moment in the history of humanity is taking place. They are out of it. And here we have the holy women, and they seem to be praying and more attentive. It's also with the image of the body of Jesus, so it's already Calvary. So it's the faithful women who accompany Jesus until Calvary. And then here we have the figure of Jesus praying. And above him, the Father. Father, take away this cup from me, but not my will, but yours be done. And up further, there are angels on each side who came to minister to him in the temptations in the desert, and now the tempter has come back. And they are sustaining him. And then further up at the very top we have two deer drinking from the fountain of the cross. Like deer running to water, so my soul longs for the living God. And the text here is from the letter to the Hebrews. Preces supplicationesque, prayers and supplications with clamore valido with loud cry, et lacrimis, tears, offering, I'm missing a letter here, ex auditus, he was heard because of his reverence. Yes, it's ex auditus. He was heard because of his reverence. There's a letter from the Hebrews. And then the 4 texts are written here. They're texts from the Gospel of Gethsemane. Now it's a little quieter, so I can tell you why I decided to do this. Tomorrow evening there'll be prayer here. I hope to live stream some, and especially a procession from here afterwards when Jesus is taken prisoner in Gethsemane. But that will be nighttime, and I thought if you see this beforehand, you will have a better understanding of the terrain and the area, as it is today obviously, but some features are still the same. So this is the Church of Gethsemane, and while we're here, just take a look at the domes of the Russian Orthodox Church of Mary Magdalene. And since the sun is shining there now, it's a good moment to see them. I will just cross the road for a second here. So here we can see the domes of the Church of Mary Magdalene in Gethsemane. There's also an image of Mary Magdalene painting, which we might be able to see here as we walk slowly. It's hard to see because the branches are moving, maybe a little further over. Yes. So there you can see an image of Mary Magdalene between the trees there in the very middle of the screen. Let me put down the tripod for you. Scoot over a little tad more to get beyond that branch. That's better here, I think. There you can see now. So we're going to start walking now through the Kidron Valley. And in 2,000 years nobody moved the Kidron Valley. So here it is. We have the Jewish burial here with thousands of graves, and like we showed you last Sunday on the live stream from the Mount of Olives on Palm Sunday, this graveyard wraps all around the Mount of Olives. We'll mention that again on our trek up to Mount Zion now, because we will have another angle to see that a little better. And then over here alongside the walls of the Temple Mount is the Muslim graveyard up near the wall itself, the burial of the Muslim people. And then guess who's down here in the Kidron Valley itself? We also talked about this on Sunday, but we didn't see the burial so closely. And they all have a cross. And this extends all the way along the valley. Beyond St. Stephen's Church and across where the road has afterwards been built, obviously. And on the valley level there's still quite a stretch back there. Maybe 100 or 150 yards there are Christian burials clearly marked as such. You can see all the olive trees here. It was a very big event here in 2009 when Pope Benedict came, there was a mass here with thousands of Christians who came for the mass with Pope Benedict. So now we're going to start going down the Kidron Valley, and what happens every year after the prayer in Gethsemane, I presume it will be the same this year, although many of the ceremonies are being reduced because of the circumstances. There's some beautiful flowers here on the other side of the road. They look like, what? Are they roses? No. You have the cactus here, different types of cactus. I presume they are imported to the area, but I won't absolutely state that. So now we go down all these stairs, and this, on Holy Thursday evening, the custom is after the hour of spending in prayer, in many languages, the Basilica of the Agony in the Garden is packed with people, and hopefully I'll be able to show you that tomorrow. And then it's about 7 o'clock in the evening, 8 o'clock in the evening, I think. And then for an hour there's prayer, and after that then there's a procession down through this valley with thousands of people in the past with the pilgrims here. But hopefully there will be people here. I hope it's going to happen tomorrow. And they carry torches, burning torches, flaming torches, like they would in ancient times. And there's a procession all the way up, Jesus going as prisoner. And the faithful are accompanying him, being taken into prison, like we follow him in every step of his sufferings. So here we have another look at the Kidron Valley here. St. Stephen's Church there of the Greek Orthodox, and the Temple Mount, and they did all this terracing. Actually, they really did a nice job on it, which is a great legacy for the people. They did it up when Pope Benedict came to have the Mass here because of the size of the space. There's a text here about Melchizedek from Genesis. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him at the Vale of Shaveh, the same as the king's veil. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine and said, "Blessed be Abraham of God Most High, maker of heaven and earth." Genesis 14. And we're in the spirit, we're walking in this pilgrimage with Abraham, our father in faith, so it's nice to notice this. Oh, look what it says here in Samuel. So here, I think this is when Samuel 2:15, David is escaping from his son Absalom. And as the king passed over the Kidron Valley, all the people passed over toward the path to the wilderness. So he was escaping from Absalom. And there was a great moment of humility of David in this when there was one of his enemies started throwing stones at him. And David's bodyguards wanted to eliminate this fellow who was cursing David. And David said, "Let him curse me. When God wants, he will free me." That simple trust in God. Now Absalom in his lifetime had taken and reared up for himself the pillar which is in the king's vale and is called Absalom's monument unto this day. Samuel 2. So this is the question if this is called Absalom's monument. I've heard various theories about this. Good evening. This little child is waving here. Hag Sameach. Where are you from?
From Fariona, next to Netanya.
Next to Netanya. Very good. Welcome, Bruchim Habayim. Hag Sameach. Animi Ireland. Shalom. Hag Sameach. So they're all decked up for Easter joy, or Passover joy, I suppose, the Feast of Passover. And this is called the Yad Afshalom Gate. And so this is the association in charge of the Jewish burials here that looks after this space. It's interesting that's called the Avshalom Gate. I hadn't noticed that before, but they're putting up more signs, so that's very helpful. These signs weren't here the last time, or at least I didn't notice them. And this is the famous monument here called Absalom's Pillar. So there was a lotus flower on top, a carved cone, a rope line decoration around the periphery. You can see that up there. And then it says there is an Egyptian cornice. Egyptian architecture is amazing. And the Doric frieze, that's in Greek. And Ionic, the different periods of the Greek capitals. So this magnificent stone monument dates to the Second Temple period. So that's Herod's temple. The lower section of the tombstone is quarried and the upper section is constructed. So it's quarried out of the rock here, this whole area. It's original limestone. And the upper section is constructed. The name originates from the Bible, where it states that Absalom built a tombstone for himself while he was still alive, naming it Absalom's Pillar. However, there is no connection between the pillar cited in the Bible and this structure, which dates to 1,000 years after Absalom's time. The quarrying style combines a variety of architectural traditions characterizing Jewish art of the late Second Temple period. And for those of you who are familiar with Magdalene, our synagogue in Magdalene has the same decorations, mosaics and frescoes as we find in Pompeii. And this is no wonder, because Herod the Great brought all of the culture of the Roman Empire here, and the engineering and architecture as well. Absalom's rebellion against his father David. King David crossed this valley, we're in Psalms 3, a psalm of David when he fled from his son Absalom. We read this text already earlier. And Absalom has caught his hair in the branches. It's a rendition of it. So there's some more tombs over here. We'll see them from a little higher up. It's an amazing name for a gate of the city of Jerusalem. It's called the Dung Gate. People tend not to believe that when you tell them the first time, but you can see it in writing. Beit Yehudi, the Jewish burial gate. So this is obviously also a burial area. In fact, all of these major tombs that you will see here now, they're cut out of the rock. We'll see them when we go up here a little higher. We're going up these stairs, do you mind? That's a nice little exercise. So here you can see these tombs. They're a little bit like the sculptures you also find in Petra, that kind of style of sculpture into the rock, where temples were built into the rock, and these were of priestly families apparently from the turn of the epoch, the Second Temple period. Here you have some very nice flowers. I haven't seen this purplish one in Galilee. But some of the others for sure, we have lots of it in Galilee. So Here you have these structures that draw a lot of interest. They're sensational burial spots. And you know, we read in the Bible also great criticism of those who build themselves monumental tombs. And the Jewish custom, if you saw the story that Kathleen shared with us from Rabbi Leo yesterday, when he did the Seder, he was wearing this simple white gown, very, very simple. And it's a typical burial cloth for the Jewish man, Jewish person. And it's so simple. I have been at a number of Jewish burials, and it's very simple. And very often the body is left with very little protection from the earth. Because dust you are, and unto dust you shall return. The great mystery of Easter then, proclaiming the resurrection. Now you see where we came from. Over on the left you have the Basilica of Gethsemane, of all nations, where Jesus is remembered praying to his Father, Father, let this cup pass by me. And then we have up on the hill there in the center of the screen, we have the Church of Mary Magdalene. And then over here, we passed by it on Sunday. You can see that in the Sunday video from Palm Sunday. There you see the Dominus Flevit church behind the cypress tree right in the center of the screen. And then you can just see a little snippet, the top snippet of the tower of the Church of the Ascension of the Russian Orthodox. Normally that looks like a huge tower, but our angle doesn't allow us to appreciate it at this moment from this position right here. There's some Muslim young people coming up after me here, and it's interesting. We meet everybody here in Jerusalem, Muslims, Jews, Christians. In Galilee we're very familiar with the Druze. Not sure if there are many down here. They're mostly in the north. And then there are also others, like the Baha'i and other faith communities. So this is the Kidron Valley. It's very green right now. You don't see any water. These are all burial places. Just look down there. Ancient burial places. I do not know the dates of this, but obviously this graveyard goes back a long time, because it says that David was buried in the eastern hill. And this is the hill that's east of the city. Here you see this splendid Church of Mary Magdalene. And then down lower we have the Church of Gethsemane. Now you can appreciate why I wanted to show you this during the daylight, because the torchlight procession tomorrow night, if that happens, I hope it will, is a very beautiful experience spiritually, very special tone. And in the years gone by that I've been here, the authorities close down the streets so this procession can take place. And it's coinciding usually with the Easter, with the Pesach, the Passover days of celebration. So there are many Jewish people in, and they have never seen Christian in the procession. So it's quite a sensation for them as well. You see their faces surprised at the Christian presence here in Jerusalem. On the other hand, when the Christians come here, the pilgrims, they're surprised that there are so few Christians here. Shalom. So the Jewish graveyard wraps all around the Mount of Olives here, and it continues all around like we saw last Sunday over near Bethany. Hello, where are you from? Shalom. We're on live stream.
What?
We're on live stream.
On the screen for the
Shidur Hai.
Shidur Hai?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Ata medber anglit?
Yes.
So you want to say something?
Oh, hey, I know everything over here.
Ah, yeah, very good.
You know what this place over here? The holiest place of all the world.
The holiest place of all the world. The Temple Mount.
Oh.
Yes.
2000 years ago, we have over here the Holy Temple.
Of course.
And we will not know the good things. And God not kill the Jews. I never know to speak good English.
You need more words, more practice.
More words, practice, yeah.
Where are you from?
University, New Jersey.
New Jersey?
University, yes.
Oh, very good. And you speak Yiddish mostly, do you?
Yiddish, yeah.
I need to learn Yiddish.
Yiddish, you know?
No. I know German and English, so next thing I need to do is learn Yiddish. And your name is?
What?
What's your name?
Shlomo Baruch.
Shlomo Baruch. Blessed?
What?
Shlomo?
Baruch is mean blessed.
Blessed, yes. Blessed Shlomo, this is your name.
Shlomo like King Shlomo.
Yeah, very good. Naim Yod.
I learn every day, like
Yeah.
14 hours.
Thank you very much. Let me continue, okay? Thank you, Shlomo. Shlomo Baruch. Shlomo or Shlomo?
Shlomo Baruch.
Shleima. That's Yiddish then. That's like
This is real Lashon Kodesh.
Shleima Baruch. Okay.
You're Jewish?
No,
No, Jewish.
no, I'm not, but I am
Now we're not allowed to go on the top of the...
Temple Mount. I know this, yeah. I'm living here 14 years.
And when God's gonna come Mashiach.
Yes,
I never know if you understand what I said.
yes, Mashiach is the Messiah.
And you're gonna come,
Yes,
and we're gonna build
the third temple.
third temple, and there's gonna be...
Now, if you live in New Jersey, why don't you speak English more?
Why?
Yeah.
Because I know a little bit,
You know a little bit.
but most of the time I learn the Torah, Tanakh,
Uh-huh.
Talmud.
Talmud. Okay, you're studying other things.
Yeah.
Very good. Excellent. So now we have a nice view here of the Kidron Valley.
Most times I come over here, I make, how I call?
Aliyah.
No, I make now I not can do it because it's a holiday.
Okay.
But every time I come over here,
Oh, you cut your
I
jacket.
cut mine because I see the place.
Ah. So this Shlomo
Most
Baruch
of the time I
tells
cry.
me that every
Most of the
time
Most times I come over here, I cry.
he cries when he comes here to the Temple Mount, and he cuts his jacket as a mark of respect and lamentation for the destruction of the temple.
It's a lot. Every Jew that's come over here needs to make
Uh-huh.
to
Very good, Shlomo. It's very nice to meet you. Thank you so much for talking with us.
not all the way. There's a holy place
Yes,
for everybody.
yes,
Not only for Jews.
of course, yes. Very holy place. That's why we love this place. Yes,
The holiest.
the holiest place. Well, heaven is the holiest place.
Heaven.
With God.
God.
Yes.
Heaven means I never understand what is heaven.
You haven't heard about heaven?
No, it's heaven. If you not do a good thing, you go in heaven.
No.
What means heaven?
Heaven is where God is.
God's
Everywhere.
God is over here.
Yes,
When
yes.
you do this, it's only because God.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
that can do anything if not God.
Exactly. You are right. Everything we do. In Him we move and are and have our being. Everything.
Everybody's God.
Very good.
Knows God.
Everything. We find God everywhere. I like this.
I'm not how to explain for another Jew what explain the divine presence. I don't know.
Yes,
I
yes, yes.
Over here it's more
Shekhinah.
Shekhinah.
Yes.
Yes. How do you know? The Shekhinah is more over here.
Yes.
Over the place.
Very good. תודה רבה. להתראות שלמה.
Shlomo Baruch.
שלמה ברוך. להתראות. So something you can appreciate here is the pinnacle of the temple and they jump into the valley. Jump from this temple and I will give you, the kingdoms of the world, or I will give you, you will impress the people, And Jesus knew that being a Messiah was a very different program. The program was Calvary. And that's why this week is so special. I'm impressed. We have to spend more time with these good people to hear and understand how they're thinking. There's so many different people in the world. It's amazing, isn't it? So there's a lot of archaeological progress here. And someday we're going to have to go in here and do a big tour. At night time there will be some light, so you'll see some of it. And more will be difficult to see. Obviously there are many different periods here because of the different layers of Jerusalem historically. Maybe we'll do a short side trip in here to the Western Wall for a moment, just to get a view, a glimpse of it at the top of this hill. Now there's another feature about the path we're walking. There are two walks that Jesus does between Gethsemane and Mount Zion, and we're doing the one afterwards going up to Mount Zion. But after the Last Supper in Mount Zion, Jesus came down to Gethsemane, crossed the Kidron Valley, and there on the other side was the cave. I forgot to go into that detail, where there's an oil press, and that's the meaning of Gethsemane. Gath is a press, and Shemen is oil. So an oil press, and we saw lots of olive trees in the area. So olive trees are common there, obviously for a long time. And the harvest of the olive tree, the olives, then they're pressed to make oil. Maybe we can peep over here, because on the other side of the road, the excavations in the area called the City of David. So it goes back a mighty long time, 3,000 years. And we can peep down, and here these good people are looking in here. Let's go to the next window. There are more windows up here. The archaeological work with which we're so familiar from our experience in Magdalene, presented here on this occasion. Now let's look in through this little window here, and we can see the excavations down here in the City of David. So when Jesus is walking up here, this is at the time, this is very interesting, because we know that after the resurrection, Peter, after Pentecost, is talking to the people, and he says, and we still have David's tomb here. So at that time, before the destruction of the temple, David's tomb was visible and available. And because of that, if David's tomb was visible and available, then it means it was there. And this memory of David, and Jesus was called Son of David, then Shalom, Hag Sameach, Lekol Ha'olam, Hag Sameach. That's the greeting for Passover, Hag Pesach Sameach. Hag means festivity, to celebrate, and Sameach means happy, and Pesach is Passover. So Hag Pesach Sameach is happy Passover holiday. And it's basically a week-long event, like our Easter week, our Easter octave. So we're just doing a little detour now. I think it's a very crowded time here at the Western Wall. We won't go in as far as the Western Wall because we'd have to go through security and they might interrupt our live stream. But you can see all the families, all the children. All in a celebration mood. All age groups, young and old. So maybe we can get a view from here. Well, not really, but a little bit. This is the Western Wall, obviously, all of it. And down here you have the archaeology. These stones are understood to have fallen at the destruction of the temple, and they were never moved since that time. In fact, you can see, imagine a stone that big down there falling on the pavement here, what would happen? It would burst the pavement, and there's actually first century pavement burst down there. And you can see all of that. So these are the people going through security to get into the Western Wall. But we'll get a glimpse further up, okay? So this is a big national festivity, religious festivity, ethnic festivity. Sorry.
צלם הפוך, אתה לא רוצה להביא, צלם הפוך, הפוך.
זה הפוך? מה זה הפוך?
בגלל שהקונסטלציה לא מסתדרת.
Okay, okay. It looks like I can't get up here, so let me see. He's saying that it's not allowed to film, and I don't see how I can get in here right now, so we'll just go this way, okay? We might have an angle when we get a little higher up over here. Shalom, Hag Pesach Sameach. That was a big family gathered together there. There's a nice view here. That's the Golden Dome, the Dome of the Rock. The minarets. And then we have more minarets over here. And the dome, the Al-Aqsa Dome, Al-Aqsa Mosque Dome. Sorry. סליחה. תודה. It's clear there was a lot of traffic here today with all these barricades for crowd control.
What?
There was a lot of traffic here today.
Yeah, all
What was the big occasion today? I didn't get a clear answer on that one. I was hoping to get a glimpse of the Western Wall here, but the bridge of access doesn't allow me. אפשר לראות הכותל משם? מה אפשר? אפשר לראות הכותל משם? אנשים מתפללים? אפשר לראות משם? לא, לא, אוקיי, תודה.
אחים יקרים, אנא יצאו לחתם יתום מאבא שצריך עזרה להוצאות חברה, תנו לסבור.
אני לא רואה אותך.
So we're going up inside the walls to Mount Zion. You remember on Sunday we had so many people for Palm Sunday, and today we have so many people for Pesach, and in a couple of weeks we'll have Ramadan, and actually less than 2 weeks, and we'll have tons of Muslims coming in. the walls of Jerusalem.
רגע, איך אני מגיע?
Wow, I didn't anticipate it would be so crowded here. Do you speak English? No.
Yeah, go, go, go.
So now we're getting higher up. And you can see the dome of the Dormition in the center there ahead of us. And we're looking into the Kidron Valley. Let me get better perspective for you here. So that's down into the Kidron Valley. And this hill over there with the green trees is the place where tradition remembers Solomon. His wives used to worship their gods there, as he had wives from different peoples and his different dealings and contracts with different big power brokers, and they brought their religions with them. And this is not a good memory. Good exercise. This affluence of people here, so many people coming, you know, it helps us to understand also the ancient pilgrimages here to Jerusalem. And every year for Passover, Jesus would come with Joseph and Mary to the Temple Mount. To the temple, obviously not the Temple Mount, the temple. This is a famous synagogue here, the Hurva synagogue, which means it was burned, and it was restored since I came here actually, about maybe 10 years ago or so. And here we see another minaret, evidence of the time when the Muslims were completely in control here. And all of this section here is the Armenian Quarter. It goes from here up to the road inside the walls on the western side of the city. So we're going to go back to Mount Zion over here. Now, when Jesus was taken from Gethsemane to Mount Zion as a prisoner to the high priest's house, maybe they even came through the city like we did. I mean, they could have gone outside or could have come inside. Either way. You notice the different headgear styles, and this apparently is associated with different Ashkenazi Jewish traditions in the countries they come from, whether they were from Russia or Poland, where there were huge populations of Jewish people, and they brought their traditions with them. And they also represent schools of Jewish culture and folklore and behavior. Here there was the ruins of a famous church, the Nea Church, which was Byzantine period church in Mount Zion. So this is the Zion Gate up here where we were this morning on the sunrise stroll and chat. This is where I started this morning. But we'll see things a little differently now because of the light. The sun will be on the other side, setting to the west. It's not so easy to drive a car with this kind of crowd. Barriers everywhere. So I still have to find out the exact reason for today's. Do you speak English? Sorry, do you speak English? Okay, thank you. Hello. So here we were this morning. Here were these flowers, those of you who were with us this morning in the sunrise stroll and chat. You have to get a look close up at these flowers. Maybe you can tell me what flowers these are. And these ones are much more familiar. And this is the first time we have a cat on Livestream. I don't think she's comfortable with the camera. So we'll take another perspective now to see the city from up here. So we were here this morning, as you'll remember, but now it will be easier to see the nuances on the east side because the sun is on the west. Isn't it amazing to see all the families? Do you speak English?
No.
I have one question. What feast day do we have today? Why are there so many people?
Shimon, it is Suda.
Shimon,
It's a holiday.
Tagidli Shimon.
Shimon, say.
Can you tell us in English what feast day is today that so many people are coming to pray at the Kotel?
There's Chol HaMoed, Pesach, Passover, and everyone comes to the Beis HaMikdash to see the Kotel.
Okay, but is it today one special day or every day in Pesach?
The whole week.
Okay, so we will see this all day, every day this week. Okay, excellent.
Until Shabbat.
Thank you, Shimon. Thank you. You want to see? Is that your dad? You want to see your dad? It's Shidur, hi. So here's the Dormition Basilica. And we'll walk around there in a little bit. I just want to show you the perspective and what we have traveled so far. The new growth of spring. It always brings delight to the heart. Springtime everywhere, also inside the human heart. So here we were this morning, and we were looking at the sun rising over there. Now you can see how the graveyard is wrapping around the Mount of Olives. You see, the piece we see is way behind these trees down there towards Gethsemane. But now we're able to see this whole stretch going all around on the south side of the Mount of Olives and wrapping around all the way to Bethany, which we see across there in the distance. Martha, Mary, and Lazarus. So that also helps you bring things into perspective. Now, then we can see Gethsemane Mary Magdalene Church, so we know that below that is the Church of All Nations. And then we walked up from there now, all the way up to here. And we're almost at the upper room, which is there really beside the Dormition Basilica. So we'll go there now. Maybe somebody would like to tell me what time we started exactly or how long we're on already. So here's where Kathleen brought you yesterday, and you had the chat with Father Athanasius here. Athanasius. And the cenaculum is the upper room, in Latin, the room of the supper. And then the cenaculino is this building where Kathleen had you yesterday. So here we have Hagia Sion, Holy Zion. We were here this morning, and maybe the upper room is open now. So Jesus would have gone from here to the upper room, from here to Gethsemane, and then we passed Peter and Gallicanta, which we will go back to do now after this, because that's where Jesus was taken prisoner. Very well. Who is this?
I'm Alini. I met you in Jericho in the church many times with groups that went to...
Very good. There. Very good. What's your name?
Alini.
We're on Livestream.
Hi.
Where are you from, Alini?
I'm from Brazil. I live here in Jerusalem, and we came to film also the holy places for Easter.
Oh, you're with Casanova?
No. I have my own YouTube channel, but Casanova, and they are great.
Fantastic.
So
send me the link to your YouTube channel, okay?
Okay.
Just take a picture here and you can send me WhatsApp or...
you are...
We know each other.
Yes. Okay? It's a small world. We meet everybody in Jerusalem, right? We all meet in Jerusalem.
Happy Easter.
Thank you.
Bye.
So let's see if we can get into the upper room. So this is the stairways leading in. I think it's closed, but at least we tried. Okay. So this is the upper room inside here, and we were up at this dome this morning for the sunrise stroll and chat. That's where we had most of our conversation, on the roof of the upper room. Very good. So now the purpose of this actually was not to enter the places but to walk the stretches. So after the Last Supper, then Jesus would have gone from somewhere here on Mount Zion down to Gethsemane. And then on the way back, I should show you one more thing that's here. This is actually a Crusader building, the physical building itself. And they built a kenotaph, an empty tomb, like was very customary at the time 1,000 years ago, 800 years ago. They built a big empty tomb to honor the memory of David. Since this was called Mount Zion in the Christian tradition already, then David had to be here. So they built this tomb to honor his memory. And pious Jews actually consider that it is the real burial place of David. I'm not sure how far we'll go in here because of the limitation on photography, very probably. Sorry. So the women have their prayer here to the right. They separate areas for men and women. Sorry. This morning we walked here to the left and we went up to this stairway, no, actually just outside to the left, and we went up on the roof. We won't do that now, okay? You can see this morning's live stream to catch up with that. So basically that man Shimon told us that just because it's Easter you have this affluence of Jews here, and that's an ancient custom, biblically recorded. So this would be the access corridor to the upper room, which is up here. The entry is just there to the left of this pillar. Let's just take a peep around here while we're here to the Church of the Dormition. Maybe many of you have come here to pray. This is run by the German Benedictines. And there's a Greek Orthodox burial here. So the gates are closed right now. You can tell from the entrance here how beautiful it is. It's a very special building, very special place. It was dedicated in 1910. It's written in Arabic, Hebrew, and English. And you can see this is the typical sign of the Greek Orthodox Patriarchate. Basically, you have two letters amalgamated into one sign, which is the taphos, T, and the phi. Taphos, the two big consonants of the word for tomb, epitaph, taphos. So they understand to themselves to be the custodians of the tomb of Jesus. One arm of that cross is broken. And this is the belfry where we heard the bells ringing this morning. And here you can see this wonderful dome of the Dormition. Better angle here to see it over the big fence here. Again, our goal was not to go inside, but simply to become familiar with the geography. ¿Qué te parece? Bom dia. Our Brazilian friends. It's really amazing when you walk in Jerusalem after so many years, so many people you meet over the years, often do projects or some type of collaboration or helpfulness, and the memories remain. It's hard to remember all the names. Look at this guy's gear. Ekom rimat ze hakittel? Kafte. Okay, and this is kafte. Kafte. So he said it's called a kafte. The kittel is the one Kathleen showed you in the program yesterday on the Seder. And he said it's white and it's called a kittel. And this is called a kafte. I wonder if it's the color of coffee. So now I want to go to see the Church of Peter in Gallicanto. So let's go this way. Let's go this way because we'll see a couple of other little things on the way. And we'll understand again the relationships of the space from what Jesus walked on Holy Thursday evening after the Last Supper, going from here down to Gethsemane, and then coming from Gethsemane back to the Mount Zion, to the high priest's house. And we remember this at Peter in Gallicanto. Here we have these white roses we saw this morning. You can get a smell of them, they're very good. Even though I'm not close to them, they're about 4 or 5 feet away, I can get the air is filled with this beautiful scent. And here we have these other ones. Flowers are an amazing mystery. Shalom. Hag Sameach. Hag Pesach Sameach. Another entrance to the area of King David's tomb. Again, it's written in Hebrew, Arabic, and English. This lady is gathering alms. There's a monument here, a little memory of the Holocaust. And eventually then the major Holocaust museum was built over near Ein Karem. This place is called King David's Hall. It's obviously a Jewish gathering place. When I came first here, this was not paved like this. This is a more recent development. I used to hike all these areas a lot. The buses are filled with those Jewish worshippers or people going to visit the Western Wall, obviously to pray. Hag Pesach Sameach. Hag Pesach Sameach. Oh, I just passed some place very, very special here. We're not always here, so let me show you. We'll just do it from here, I think. It'll be easier. So look what you see here. This is the entrance to the Christian graveyard on Mount Zion. And look at the name that's tagged on the gateway. Oscar Schindler's grave. Those houses are on the other side of the valley. And right in here, I was at a number of burials here actually, in the years I was here, also staff from Notre Dame. And some sisters. And the hill across from there is the memory of Isaac and Abraham when they left their company there with the donkeys and they walked from there to the Temple Mount. To the rock, to the Mount Moriah. Long before the temple was ever built, maybe almost 1,000 years before it was built. These are the bells from the Dormition Church, ringing for the half hour. Here it's 4:30. So this is Peter in Gallicanto. And this is where we remember Jesus being brought back as a prisoner from Gethsemane. So tomorrow night, if things go according to the usual tradition, the procession will come here, and I think Kathleen had you in here already. So St. Peter in Gallicanto. And here you can see some of the images of the building. So there's a lady calling me here. I'll go back and say hello, what I can do for her. Or maybe she's calling somebody else. זה כניסיה לנוצרים. זה סגור עכשיו. אין בעיה, מה לעשות? So normally the procession comes up here. What we did was we came up inside the walls from the western wall. We went in the Dung Gate down there, and we came out the Mount Zion Gate up here. So we're back where we were a few minutes ago, but it's a good place to take to capture the space. So there you see Gethsemane again. The Mary Magdalene Church is a very helpful beacon to where the location is. And then, as we pointed out at the start of this live stream, and then we have that very extensive Jewish cemetery wrapping around the southern sides of the Mount of Olives across to Bethany, almost as far as Bethany. Bethphage, at least. Bethphage would be more accurate to say. So it's not long of a walk, you know. It's the old city is about 4.2 kilometers around. I walked it once in 37 minutes 30 seconds or 36 minutes 30 seconds a long time ago. And a real brisk walk, you know, a power walk, just hugging the walls as tight as I could the whole time. So, you know, I think with soldiers pushing, you know, they could do that in 15-20 minutes to go from Gethsemane. When there's a big crowd here with hundreds and thousands walking, then it's a slower process. And then Jesus is taken from here to in the morning of Good Friday to the Praetorium, and maybe we can do that in a separate walk. I'm just trying to think what's the best thing to do now. There's a problem about walking from here directly to the Praetorium, and it's almost obligatory if we're going through the city streets of the old city that we're going to be in streets that are built upon, that the people have houses above the street, so you're like walking through tunnels, and then the connection is very poor. So I'm not sure what to do exactly there. Let's see. We'll continue at least another little bit. So this is the irrigation, drip irrigation. There are little holes in the pipes that allow the water to come out at the plants. See that little hole? And then that keeps the ground moist so that plant can thrive. And this saves a lot of water, and it's geared exactly to the plants that need it. It's called drip irrigation. It's an invention here of Israel that has brought a lot of benefit around the world. The need to economize with water has accelerated that development here. You appreciate that water is so vital for life. You remember our trees this morning with these beautiful flowers? Or at least many flowers. I didn't get close enough to see their beauty. So here you can get a little closer. So I think maybe right here at Mount Zion Gate we'll say goodbye. It seems to make sense to me that this is a good session, and we'll see what else we can prepare for you to complete the path. There's the sun heading west for its setting. I thank you very much for joining us. I hope that this week will be very blessed for you, that you'll have a great experience in Holy Week. And also to our Jewish people who are with us here right now, I know there are a number. Many blessings and Hag Sameach, Hag Pesach Sameach. And let's keep going. Let's be a support to all the others who are most in need at this time, who need our prayer. That's a very beautiful thing, to pray for those who are more in need than we are. It's beautiful when sick people do that. It's amazing to see that thinking of the other. It's already a very healing thing to think of the others. Thank you so much. We'll say goodbye for now, and we'll see you later. God bless you.